Hello, the game has started and it's my opponent to go first. He has exchanged 4 tiles. I don't have a great rack, just the one vowel. And I'm wondering what I can do with this lot. I've got Y here. That's not a terrible rack leave considering the starting point. I don't think Brewy is good. Herbie is good, I think. Is it? Herbie for 34. Yeah. Not a good pickup at all. I draw no vowels and the dreaded Q. So that'll be a drag on the rack for at least this turn. Possibly another turn after this one as well. Opponent, in contrast, has a fantastic rack and bingos. I do have Chi, which I'll just plonk down there. Not worth playing the S. I wonder about Glowy, but that's 32. I think just get rid of the Q. Yeah. Not a good pickup. I thought I'd draw a vowel, but it wasn't to be. Gazy, glazy. 38, if it remains available. Now, oh, look at this. I've got Swy for 47. How good would that be? Let's see if opponent plays there. Venation takes an S. So I don't think I have a play there. A 4-letter play beginning with an S. Swy, that would be fantastic. Opponent taking some time with this move. A word ending NY would also score well, but yeah, not seeing anything there that fits that pattern. I would need a vowel for that. So either Swy or glazy so far. Oh, opponent has played. I didn't realize. Swy for 47. I do finally draw a vowel. I wonder how long that word was sitting up there. I didn't realize opponent had played. Now, Venation takes an S. What about Wangs? I don't think there's a Z play here that ends in... Oh, I don't have an S. I thought for a moment I still had the S. But no. I do have Waz for 35. Not a bad rack leave if I pick up an E. And there's a whole bunch of them to come. So let's see what opponent does here. I think opponent might be having internet connection issues because it looks like he's left the room. Let's do a little nudge just to see if he's still available to play. still appears to be outside of the room, which indicates usually an internet connection issue. Give him another couple of moments and then I'll forfeit this. Okay, opponent's back. Goatee. That's pretty good. And opponent's back. So let's go with... Well, Lazar is good as well. No, I think Waz would be better for 35. That's a beautiful pickup. Very happy with that. Geraniol, they're regional. Regional is a 4-timer, so that would score quite well. Opponent likely to play up in the top half of the board, as the bottom and left are pretty choked up now. Venation takes an S, so still a good scoring opportunity in row 15 for those who have an S. Swy, don't think Swy takes anything. So what to do? If regional is blocked, Tanglia from the T. Regaling through the G. Wow, opponent bingos. I have dearling and I have relating. Let's see what dearling scores. Ooh, I don't think I want to do dearling because it takes an S and it stops one square short. Relating is probably going to be... Oh, not relating, sorry. Altering, that'll work. 86. Q's been played, X has been played, so this 10J not as hot as it normally would be. 86, I think I'll go with this. Not a bad pickup. I draw the K for score. Pity the K is not a C. Otherwise I'd be bingoing again possibly. Now opponent has bingoed again, deadbolt, and he's created a hotspot for bingos ending in S. And I'm wondering if I have such a play. What about an ERS ending word? Onlookers, no. Now Kearns is good, or cores. That's a 62-point play. Hope I'm not missing a bingo here. I'm going with cores, 62. Not a bad pickup, I guess, but C, V, and M. Not a whole lot of synergy happening with those guys. I have nothing to go under the K, so The triple word squared 15H is unavailable to me. Is there a way of scoring through this D though? Seed, I guess. Doesn't score very well. Actually, 30's not terrible. Ouch, opponent takes my spot. Looking at a 5-letter play. What about Venge? Gives back easy score to opponent, but it is 26 points. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. I draw the J, and I have Jeet. $29. Opponents played there, fruit. Now eject. Looking at J plays. Just not seeing a great play with the J here. I was hoping for a 5-letter play starting J2. Not materializing. Okay, I think I will go with Jeet. Feels suboptimal, but it is 30 points. Kumia. Is that a thing? Don't know about that one. Kumia, no. Maybe not. Coom is good though. And chrome. Can you spell chrome that way? Crime you can spell there. Dural. Chrome you can spell that way. Now, I've got a whole bunch of I's here. I have a little lead, so hopefully I can hang on to that. I'll be looking to take out this bingo lane at row 4. Bingo's ending in ing particularly. Oiling would work. Does this give opponent a front hook for a bingo? No, it doesn't. Only 6 squares. Vav blocks the crucial 7th square. Suppose he could do a fancy overlap. Unlikely though. Is this the play? I think it is. I'm going with oiling. Even if opponent scores something down here, I don't mind as long as it's not a bingo. Not a bad pick. Some synergy happening with these 7 tiles. adipose if the C was a D. Opponent's created an opening. What could I do here? Opponents can play finish, but he won't finish the game that way. What about, I've got an A for playing above Po. What about paces? Oh, I haven't activated. Paces for 35, that's not bad. Or is there a play from the F? I could just play cafes or something like that, and then go out with Poi next turn. Yeah, I think I'll do this. High O's, good score, 35. Do I have an outplay? What am I missing here? Peon. And that's the end of the game. So, thank my opponent for the game. Let's see what we missed. Back to the start. Opponent exchanged, and that looks like the right thing to do. Oh, what's happened here? Now I've got this rack. Herbie looks fine for 34. Opponent's got a good rack there, and a whole host of bingos. He goes with Venation. Now Chi for 22 doesn't feature as high up as these other plays, like Growly through the O. Growly. Don't like it that much, because it leaves a Y here at 13H, and that could give back a 30 or 40 point play quite easily. Even worse if opponent had a Z, M and E, Zyme, for example. So, yeah, I'm still happy to get rid of the Q. Gavot, opponent had, and Advent, no fantastic scores, goes with Vav. Zygal for 40 through the A. That's quite nice. I went with Swy for 47, and I like that because it didn't give much back to opponent, and it actually took out a hot spot. Words ending NK or NY, mind you, the Y had already been played. So still happy with Swy. Togated, I think, is a bingo, and opponent does not have a spot for that. Goatee for 11, Teg for 18. Oop, sorry, I've gone back to the beginning by mistake. Where were we? Here. Vav, and then I went with Swy. So opponent went with Goatee, and that looks okay. Now Waz for 35 was best. Textured, lovely bingo. And altering for 86 was best. Integral also a 4-timer, and regional was the other one previously mentioned. Opponent suffering from a vowel shortage, but lovely bingo find of deadbolt, which stopped one square short of this juicy double word square. And I had the S at that stage, and chorus or kinos looks fine. 2 R's to come, 2 N's to come. So, yeah, not much in it, although ER is a better rack leave slightly than EN. So maybe kinos would have been just a touch better. Opponent has morgared onto the D. Look at that, getting the G doubled. And the whole word tripled. That's a decent score. Madge wasn't bad either. 42, same score. Now, Exeme through the X. Look at that. Not a wonderful rack leave, CNV, but a 40-point play. I'd be happy to suffer the discomfort of an unsynergetic rack. Venge for 26 was next best on offer. And then opponent had Fud, Fund, Fundi with some nice rack leaves. Went with Fruit, a little bit more volatile. Eject, I did spot Eject, but I didn't think to play it there. Now, leaving an E in the trip lane, a lot of bingos end in E, so not crazy about that idea. Jeet was a lot safer, and I still prefer the play. And it also scuppered opponents' chances of utilizing the R as a bingo floater, and also limited what opponent could do with the F. Now opponent has a fairly balanced rack, but doesn't have an ING bingo. Not far off though. Goes with Dural, good score, or decent enough score, considering he only had 1 and 2 point tiles. Chrome was best for 43. And now Insidious almost. No. Unionized almost. Opponent's got Udon for 20. That looks okay actually. But look at all these eyes to come. He really did need to play off one of the eyes. I think Nidus would have been best. 15A across. Not a word that I'm familiar with. Nidus. Went with Udon, and now I've got a whole bunch of eyes as well. Oiling was best, and it really did kill these two floaters, the G and the O, as bingo floaters, particularly the G. Although there were no real... opponent did still have the ING on his rack, so I think it was a good idea to block it just in case. And now opponent has Naifs for 44. That would have put the cat amongst the pigeons. 15A. Look at this. Naifs and Venations. Massive. So that would have put opponent within a stone throw's reach of my score. 384. Yeah, just a slender lead I would have been clinging on to. But I did have a pretty flexible rack at this stage. And wow, how did I not look at... Oh, I was so concerned with blocking bingo lanes that I failed to identify the bottom left corner. Epics for 44. Now, that would have put me on 443. Opponent might still have won with a bingo. Didn't look overly bingo friendly, but there are 3i bingos out there, like Bilimbi, Bikini, Mankini. There are a few, but yeah, not quite there with this set, I don't think. But my thinking was the only way opponent's going to win is with a bingo. So just score somewhere in the 30s and you'll be fine. So I went with cafes, and I didn't see how that C would have helped my opponent to bingo. High Ois for 35 was best. And then, peony. Didn't think of playing on to NY, but it was available. Look at that. Peony for 32 points. Wow. I just looked at these 3 tiles and thought, where can I fit poi on the board? And I didn't even think of extending. So there you go. That was a pretty big miss at the end, but didn't affect the outcome of the game. So that was that. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.